Welcome, volleyball fans. We've got exciting Division III action from Turner Gymnasium on the campus of the University of Lynchburg. The Lynchburg Hornets home opener, 0-3 to start the season. They are hungry for a victory. It's going to have to come against great competition. The Southern Virginia University Knights are in town. They are the back-to-back USA South Conference champs. They've started the year at 2-2, so it's a mixed bag as far as success goes for the Knights. We're very excited to have you along for the ride. Let's take a look at the statistical analysis, the tail of the tape, if you will, between these two ball clubs. Again, still early in the season, not a whole lot of sets under their belt for either of these two teams, but you're starting to see a little bit of what these ball clubs are all about as far as their attacking game, their defense. Serving will be important. You talked to Lynchburg coach Hannah Givens. She enjoyed their trip down to Kentucky to open the season, but no victories. They are hungry for a win. They had some close games. We'll talk about that during the broadcast, and we think this will be a close game as well. We hope you'll buckle up and enjoy it with us here. It is volleyball action coming to you live on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.
Diving in college taught me to strive and be the best athlete I can be, but also the best student I can be. My coaches always made sure that the student comes first, because not everyone's going to become a professional athlete. So they make sure that we will do great in academics. I knew that would only open the door to my future, and I'm really excited to start my dream program for physical therapy.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 30, touchdown. Michaela Burgess.
An incredible finish by Hall. The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
When you come to the University of Lynchburg to earn a master's degree in athletic training, you'll spend time in the classroom, but you'll also spend a lot of time in our top-notch facilities learning from athletic trainers and working closely with our student athletes. In the Graduate Cadaver Lab, you'll learn about the human body in the best way possible, by actually studying the human body. This will provide a foundation to make you a much better athletic trainer. In the athletic training laboratory, you'll get hands-on experience, practicing your skills, applying concepts from the classroom, and working with faculty on research projects. It's also where our hydrotherapy facilities are. This space is also used by students for studying and practicing skills outside of class time. In the Sports Medicine Clinic in Turner Gymnasium, you'll work with student athletes from more than 20 NCAA Division III sports teams, helping get them back to practice and into the game as soon as possible. As an athletic training student, you're a big part of the success of our sports teams and the success of the local athletic teams. We see this relationship as a win-win situation. You learn, and that helps us win.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Volleyball has taught me a lot throughout my life. It's definitely had a huge imprint on who I am as a person, competing at a Division III level. It created that opportunity for me to go to college. Not only was I the first one in my family to graduate college, but I was really the first one to even go. Being the first one, I'm breaking that cycle, and now that I've graduated, I'm not sure what's the next step, but I know I have a lot of doors open. And a lot of those are open because I played football and ran track here at Otterbein.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school. It's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
The Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network is proud to present volleyball from inside Turner Gymnasium on the campus of the University of Lynchburg. Kyle Haney hanging out with you tonight, volleyball fans, and we are so glad to have you stopping in with us here. It is broadcast number 1 for us on LHSN, and we are very excited. That also, you could probably figure, means it's the home opener for the University of Lynchburg volleyball team. Coached by Hannah Givens in her 4th season. They enter the contest at 0-3. Early season trip to Kentucky last weekend. We'll discuss what happened there. Some close games, no victories, some close games. It was a 5-set loss in their first game to Asbury. 5-set loss in game 3 to Worcester. The blip in the radar might be game 2 there. They were swept by Berea. The opponent tonight, a very good one, the Southern University Knights, coached by Debbie Baker in her 6th season in Buena Vista. Southern Virginia is the back-to-back USA South Conference champions, and they have designs and ideas to get back to the NCAA tournament again this year. We are underway here from Turner. First serve in play and received there by Cassie Blackmore. There's a long hit that is out of bounds. Point number 1 will go to Southern Virginia. Kaylee Keough taking the first swing for Lynchburg, just a little long, and already it's a 1-0 lead for Southern Virginia, who is 2-2 on the season. They had an early season tournament as well. That one will find the line with a good strike there on the outside by Bree Spainauer. Number 12 will get in the books for Lynchburg, all knotted up at 1-1. Southern Virginia 2-2. The early season trip was to Virginia Wesleyan. They lost to Salem 3-1, lost to Virginia Wesleyan 3-0. Then they beat Newman and they beat Field. So it's actually a short winning streak here for Southern Virginia. 2 in a row. Free ball coming for the Hornets. There's a miss hit by Spainauer. That one was outside the pin in a very tough angle. So not an on-target pass there from Maya Green. Maya Green, the outstanding setter for Lynchburg. One to watch. Hornets are in those white jerseys, black shorts for everybody. Southern Virginia in kind of the burgundy / crimson top over there on the right side of your screen. Fairly short trip from Buena Vista to Lynchburg. We'll get back into the geography more. Out ball there on a long strike. Ties the game up again. This time we're knotted at deuces. Paris Salafou running in to occupy the middle blocker spot for Lynchburg. She'll take the place of freshman Miranda Cummings. There are quite a few freshmen on this Lynchburg team, 5 of them in fact, and at least 3 or 4 have been getting pretty steady work. There's a jackhammer coming from near left side pin, and that goes straight down. Hit the hands of Cassie Blackmore on the back row there, but just ricocheted off. That was firm. Good strike from Southern Virginia. They attack well, although the numbers so far in those first 4 games, not outstanding as far as the hitting percentage and kills per set, some of those other things that you might look at. Here's Spainauer again, got that one to a good area. Southern Virginia handles. Now they'll get an offensive look. Good receive by Cassie Blackmore. Soft touch over, back row receive. There's a setter attack. Lynchburg's ready for it on the dive. Roll shot coming over from Spainauer. Good rally right here. Best of the afternoon so far, and that one will finally hit the floor. Couple dives, good effort by Lynchburg, but unable to get the point. And now all of a sudden with the 4-2 lead, it's actually the biggest advantage of the game so far for Southern Virginia. Good crowd has developed here in Turner. We think some more students will show up as the match goes on. Kaylee Keough controls that one. That one will spin off the net. Referees looking at each other, and then finally the signal given there to Lynchburg. Makes it a 1-point ball game again. And here comes Jana Leak, number 7, 5'6" sophomore from Williamsburg, Virginia, in to serve for the Hornets. Jump serve, line drive, handled well by the libero from the Knights. There's a good firm hit, but Salafu with a good block. Hornets might get a look here. Nice attack, right-handed swinging arm there from Ava Meinhardt. Ava Meinhardt, middle blocker, freshman, 6 foot from Jefferson City, Missouri. So we're tied again, 4-4. Third tie of the ball game, I believe. That might be tough to keep track of if this keeps up. Here comes a long roll shot, wide right, and it's Lynchburg's first lead of the ball game. Excellent stuff there. You're already sensing, it's just 9 points in, but already sensing that Lynchburg's getting a little momentum, getting some confidence. Sure, there's got to be some nerves playing on the home court for the first time. You could say the same thing for Southern Virginia, coming into somewhat of an unfriendly gymnasium. Another out ball there. Lynchburg's worked themselves into a 6-4 lead. Good court awareness by Lynchburg. They've let a couple close ones go by. That's not easy to do, especially early in a game where you want to make sure you get everything back. You want to dig out some of those bullets, get some feel. So to let a few close ones go like that's pretty impressive. There's Blackmore again. She wears the black jersey as the libero, and she has been very in the mix. Nice two-hand tandem stuff there from Meinhardt and Salafu, but it does go out of bounds, and it will be a point for Southern Virginia. Love what Salafu brings in the middle. We got a chance to chat with her in the preseason. Her, Maya Green, and also Abby Barlow for Lynchburg. Those interviews are on the Lynchburg YouTube page. Same way you're accessing this game right now, you can check out those great interviews. Such wonderful personality from those three. We also got to talk to the assistant coach, Olivia Killalay, and there's a kill from Princess Salafu. Princess Salafu in the middle is definitely a part of the offensive game plan too. She's not just a blocker. She's not just a wall up front defensively. She can score points too. She showed it right there. This is Abby Barlow, one of the aforementioned that we interviewed. Those interviews are on the Lynchburg YouTube page. Same one you're using to view this contest. Slight mishit there, and that'll be a point for Lynchburg. 8-5. It's a 3-point advantage now. Southern Virginia head coach Debbie Baker on her feet. Her husband John Baker, we were chatting with before the game, is the assistant coach. They really work in tandem. It's almost one of those associate head coach situations. Back set there, very nice. Hornets were ready for it. Dive from Barlow, but unfortunately, that will be a point for Southern Virginia. Great job by Abby Barlow there to check on the referee, make sure she was okay, as they sort of had a mini collision, a mini pile up there just in front of the scorer's table. 8-6 ball game now. Line drive serve handled by Keough. Green is there for the set. Back to Keough. She took 1 and 3 and she scored it. Big swing coming from that far left pin. Kaylee Keough, 5'8" sophomore, Charlotte, North Carolina. She is the leader right now for this ball club in kills per set, 2.69. She keeps swinging like that, the number will be going up. In-system attack coming for Southern Virginia. Good receive there by Leak. Sent over. Tip ball, Leak will get another one. Barlow's gonna bump set it to Keough. Good strike, but handled, hit the ceiling, play on, still on this side. Change up tip that Leak got to. So really good defensive battle right now between these two teams. How about Princess Salafu in the back row, excuse me. Awkward hit, she'll get out of the way so the teammates can handle it. The rally goes on and on. Where this one stops, nobody will know. Barlow made a dive to try to dig that one out, and you could almost see in the hindsight body language there, she probably knew that was an out ball as well. But again, you're early in the game, and it's an incredibly long rally. You want to get your mitts on everything you can. And I think Abby Barlow was just sort of locked in that mindset of nothing is going to hit the floor here. So sometimes a close one you might try to take rather than let go. And that was a line drive as well. That had plenty of velocity there. 2-point game again, 9-7 Lynchburg. Barlow receives the serve, key out, tips over, handled by Southern Virginia. Big swing coming there. Lynchburg's got another rip at it. Keow's getting some rhythm. She's getting a lot of looks from that far left side. Another change-up tip. Leak, kind of awkward. Keow will have to roll this one over. Great placement right there. They call that the donut sometimes. Right in the middle, she found the hole. And it's another point for Keow. Yeah, fans are into it. Some members of the University of Lynchburg men's basketball team. We've got some of the beach volleyball team in here. We've just got a lot of students, parents. Always great support for Lynchburg. That's one thing that all the players will talk about. The parents love to travel. And sometimes an away game will end up being closer for you as a parent, just depending on where you're from. Ooh, there's a nice little dewdrop in kind of a ball there for Brooklyn Maitland. A freshman outside hitter for Southern Virginia gets them a much-needed point. They're back within 2. It's first set action between the Southern Virginia Knights and the University of Lynchburg Hornets. Hornets are back in action this Saturday, September 9th. They'll travel to Eastern Mennonite for a game against Dickinson. There's a serve wide left that Lynchburg does let go. Again, back to the good court awareness over there. Nice stuff from Lynchburg. Looked like it was number 9, the setter Maya Green, that had to make the decision there. She made the right one. Key out a serve. That's an ace. Again, the perfect placement. How about this? Have a set, Kaylee Keow. She is scoring in a bunch of ways. KK, number 17, the sophomore. Also a beach volleyball player, one that does both for Lynchburg. Barlow off target, scramble, and Lynchburg unable to hit it back over. So the 3-point lead becomes a 2-point advantage again. Or is it 12-9? Okay, I'm mistaken. It's 12-9 now. Early in the season for us. It's our first Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network broadcast of the year. And it's been a whirlwind 2023. But now we gotta refocus on the present. Good strike right there for the Knights. Sydney Bassett was in the area, but I believe, yeah, it was number 1, Abby Anderson. That'll get credit for the kill there. That was emphatic. Hit it right through the block. Jump serve. Handled. Green. Setting up Minard on that far side. Slightly out of position on the set. And unfortunately for Lynchburg, it's another Knight point. They're back within 1. Lynchburg's led by 3 a couple times. We had just a 1 lead change. Another jump serve there, and that was well out. I think that was an easier decision for the Hornets ball club. Princess Salafu back in. She is the lone senior on this team that features 5 freshmen, 9 sophomores, 2 juniors, and 1 senior. That is Princess Salafu. 3rd on the team last year in kills, led the ball club in blocks. Bump set again. Minor got a better strike on that one right to the middle of the court. Handled by Southern Virginia. Oh, big whack by Sydney Bassett. The junior from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, did not get cheated on that one. And that was another where she went right through the block. Didn't try to go around. Get another look at it right here. Just right off the tips of the fingertips there from Princess Salafu. Bree Spainauer, a little off balance, floating out of bounds, but managed to get it over and get a point. Lynchburg's back up 2. Spainauer and Maya Green out for breathers. Back in, Jana Leak, and Tori Williamson. Freshman Tori Williamson actually started, but she has been rotating in and out. She's back in now. 14-13, 1-point ball game again. Southern Virginia to serve. Head coach Hannah Givens in her 4th season. The overall record won't blow you away, but the home numbers here in Turner Gymnasium for Lynchburg are very good. 17-9 in Coach Givens' career, and they were 7-2 on Wayne Prophet Court last season. So that's something I think that you can hang your hat on as a team and as a program. Holding serve at home, to use the volleyball analogy, I suppose. I guess that analogy works in tennis as well. But Lynchburg pretty good at home in all sports, and women's volleyball definitely right up there. Good effort by Abby Barlow to get to that one, but unable to pancake it back up. 1-point game again, 15-14. Southern Virginia opened up things with the lead, but they've trailed for the better part of set number 1. There's another long serve. Boy, that's been a theme that we really maybe haven't been talking about enough. This time it was Sydney Bassett, the junior. Just too much mustard on those serves. Southern Virginia has given Lynchburg quite a few points with the service errors. We'll get some stats and some analysis here after set 1. KK back in. Nice rip again. Boy, she is having a set to remember. Kaylee Keogh, 5'8" sophomore from Charlotte, North Carolina. Performances like this, you better remember the name. She was 2nd on the team in kills last year as a freshman. Just over 2 per set. And if you're wondering, the career high is 16 kills against Virginia State. That one's on the line, on target from Princess Salafu. Timeout on the court. Southern Virginia needs a break to talk it over. Lynchburg's up to a 4-point lead. Let's step aside and catch our breath, and we're back in just a moment. It's D3 volleyball. Lynchburg on top of Southern Virginia. You're watching it live on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.
Your career in the game by enrolling in the University of Lynchburg MBA program with an emphasis in sport management. This program opens the doors to new possibilities for a variety of careers, from being an athletic director or working in athletic administration to working for professional organizations, your favorite team, to running a local Parks and Rec department. And employers are increasingly requesting and preferring individuals who have postgraduate education, specifically looking for an MBA. And so the University of Lynchburg Sport Management concentration in the MBA program sets you up for success, and it sets you apart from the many other people looking for jobs in the industry.
Hornets are out to a 4-point advantage, the most recent coming from the right arm, Princess Salafu. An ace that just hit the back line, perfect placement. Southern Virginia, meanwhile, has had trouble getting some serves in. Free ball coming for the Knights. They'll get in system and look to attack from the near left side. There's another long one. Good strong swing and strike from Brooklyn Madlin. But it's out of bounds, out of play. And really, to me, that's the theme as Lynchburg works themselves to their biggest advantage so far of the set at 5. Knights just not getting enough balls on the court. I think when they can force Lynchburg to receive and have to try to get in system themselves, they're obviously able to play with the Hornets, but just some unforced errors, if you will. Sometimes you take a chance, you try to tool that block they talk about, hitting it off the blocker and out of bounds. And if that doesn't happen, you end up hitting it over the blocker and out of bounds. And I'll say some of those service errors, if you ask head coach Debbie Baker, she'll probably say those are unforgivable, if you will, as far as just the service errors. Yeah, as a coach, you know you're going to have a few here or there, but probably far too many for her liking so far early in this one. It's back to a 3-point Lynchburg lead. See if Southern Virginia can build some momentum. Jump serve coming. Barlow handled that up high on the arms, but it's still okay for Lynchburg. Keogh, another big swing, might lead to another point. Let's see. No, Lynchburg's going to have to try again. Good job to scramble by the Knights. Keogh, change up. Double hit in front, maybe not. Yeah, finally a call there will go Lynchburg's way. Just 4 hits on that one, not the twice in a row by one player, but it is a Lynchburg point. Maya Green checking back in. She'll go to the service line. Green is the outstanding setter, the junior from Fredericksburg, Virginia. She's had a pretty good start to this season. The 3-set loss where Lynchburg was swept, the numbers were down there. The lefty will get herself an ace. Maya Green in the books there, 21-16, all going Lynchburg's way. And look out, Southern Virginia wants to take another timeout. I don't think Debbie Baker is completely satisfied with her team's effort right now. So another timeout. We just took a little breather, so let's keep it right here at the moment. Meanwhile, Lynchburg's got all the energy. Their team is feeling good. Smiles, yelling. We're getting some good camera work there from our LHSN crew. We'll run down all the guys and gals that are making this one possible. And a reminder, it is early in the season, so some reminders here. You need to get on board with the Lynchburg social media destinations. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're on Threads as well. And, of course, the website, lynchburgsports.com, is always one to know. So if you're not plugged into those destinations just yet, make sure it happens soon, and you can stay up to date with not only the women's volleyball team, but everything going on here at Lynchburg. And yes, for many, many years, you could just say the volleyball team here at Lynchburg, fans. But then with the addition of beach volleyball last year, you have to be specific between those two. And then if you haven't heard the most recent news, big news out of the Lynchburg Athletics Department is the addition of men's volleyball coming up. I'm going to get a chance to chat with the brand new men's volleyball coach, Ryan Turner. And he's a former assistant coach for this women's team. So some folks watching the game will know. There's another point for Lynchburg. Serve, receive, not A+ there for Southern Virginia. 22-16. 6-point lead for Lynchburg's the biggest of the night. There's an overpass that got tipped over, and the referees didn't like it. Contact with the net, or maybe even the hand went over on the tip. Another point for Lynchburg. They are scoring in a variety of ways. Some of this is self-inflicted by the Knights, but I would argue that Lynchburg has put the pressure on Southern Virginia, forcing them to play. We talked about the Knights were unable to get some serves in and some big swings that went out of bounds for Southern Virginia. Lynchburg's done the opposite. They forced Southern Virginia to make plays. There's another one. Number 25, Brooklyn Madlin. A strike that just hits the netting. And now Lynchburg's a point away, 24-16. See if Maya Green can finish this one off from the service line. She will. It hit the tape and dropped in. Perfect placement there. Not exactly how you plan it, but it's a set victory for Lynchburg. They are off to an incredible start, 25-16. We'll pause for the set break, and we'll get our special guest coming up in just a moment as well. Stick around, volleyball fans. Lynchburg leads Southern Virginia 1-0 here inside Turner Gymnasium.
Think a private education is too expensive? Think again. At the University of Lynchburg, you can get a personalized education for the cost of a state school. If you're commuting and you get our top scholarships, you could pay much less. And you get all that without the hassle of giant lecture halls. Our faculty know your name here and do more than just teach. You might even do research together and plan out your next career moves.
I learned a lot of valuable lessons playing college football. I never thought about the health benefits of exercise until I actually started to talk to coaches in college. It's not only just for performance, it's for life. My coaches instilled the importance of well-being, not only building up strength, mental health, getting enough sleep, eating properly is all what it is to be healthy. I decided that I want to go into personal trainer and share my knowledge that I obtained in college about physical and mental well-being.
Look what you're missing.
It really don't matter to me, I'm just happy to be here, I might go crazy.
A single thread is unique. Like each of us, full of purpose and potential. A strand designed to connect, strengthen, and unite. But we face different challenges and have different opportunities. By acknowledging that others may struggle in ways we do not, we can celebrate our differences, embrace each other, and fortify the ties among us. A single thread can fray, yet when it's woven with another, a bond forms. A new strength created by the fabric of the whole. Let's embrace the fabric we make together, the diversity of our threads, to reach beyond ourselves and overcome the impossible. The true power of our game comes from unifying our individual backgrounds, connecting our unique stories, enabling us to be stronger, braver, greater. We can achieve so.
We welcome you back inside Turner Gymnasium. Volleyball fans, Kyle Haney, and I'm joined by the special guest, Ryan Turner, the brand new men's volleyball coach here at the University of Lynchburg. Ryan, a lot of our women's volleyball fans are going to remember you as the assistant coach last year, but give everybody the rundown. Don't give the full resume, but give the quick hitter about who you are. And man, I'm very excited to be talking to you.
Yeah, Kyle, I'm happy to be back in Lynchburg. For the last 3 years, I was the assistant for the women's indoor team, who you're watching right now, and helped start the beach program here, which had an incredible first year, and they're going to keep growing. And I was given the opportunity to add another volleyball program here at Lynchburg. There's no shortage of them, and they're all very successful. So I'm happy to follow in the footsteps.
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit strange circumstances as to why you're here, but I'll use the old cliche, things happen for a reason. I think you feel like you're coming back home, don't you?
Oh, 100%. When I moved down here 3-4 years ago, I fell in love with Lynchburg. You cannot beat that mountain view, I'll tell you that.
Well, my great friend, and some folks might know, Tim LaDuca, who we'll be talking about all the time on these broadcasts, he was so thrilled. He said, yeah, it's like getting my best friend back, and I know everybody here really feels the same way. Talk about some of the challenges, though, to starting a program from scratch, or maybe that's better than taking over from somebody. I guess there's two sides to that coin, isn't there?
Oh, 100%. It's a double-edged sword. I kind of like starting a new program. You get to shape it and mold it however you like, and you're always kind of surprised with the guys who come in and maybe change that mold as they grow as a team and as players. So, yeah, I prefer a new program. I think Lynchburg is the perfect spot for it. It's such a great athletic school.
And you're recruiting already. I'm told you had somebody on campus today. Is that right?
Yeah. I had a visit, and phone calls are always happening. So recruiting doesn't stop. It's a 24/7 job.
Well, for some folks that don't know, men's volleyball isn't huge in Central Virginia, where the University of Lynchburg is. So you gotta really expand the geography, don't you? You gotta cover all your ground. Talk about that. I mean, where are you highlighting, and how are you finding these players? Or trying to find them anyway, I guess.
Yeah, it's a great question. The sport itself has taken off across the country. I mean, Virginia Beach is a hotbed, Northern Virginia even. In the farther north you go, the more players you find. I'm sure some of them would like to get out of the cold, snowy months and come down here, and those are the guys I'm looking for.
Yeah, talk about your vision for the program. I mean, obviously you want to be successful. That probably goes without saying. But tell us some things that you're going to be big on, some of the key concepts that you're looking for in players, and then you're going to be talking about with the players.
Yeah, I think the most appealing part of a new program is the empowerment. I mean, you're part of a team, 17, 18-year-old, and you get to be a captain, a leader, a student athletic committee member. And the opportunities for the growth and the leadership mindset, I mean, they're abundant. And not to mention, the very first year we're a program, the national championship will be right down the road in Salem, Virginia. Talk about the opportunity to put yourself on the national stage year one.
Yeah, and you're going to be jumping in to a schedule that features some ODAC teams that have men's volleyball programs already. That's going to be a challenge. But again, back to two sides to the coin, if you can survive that and thrive in that, yeah, you might have a chance on the national level earlier than people think, right?
100%. Every time as an athlete, you want to be playing the best competition, and I feel that's in the ODAC. Honestly, across the board, watching all these great athletes compete. The ODAC is such a great conference, and I don't think men's volleyball is any exception.
Well, let's shift gears just a little bit because, you have worked with so many of these players on this Lynchburg team. What are you seeing so far? I mean, a great first set, some self-inflicted damage by Southern Virginia, but that happens sometimes, especially early in the season, right?
100%. Both these teams are very young. I know SVU don't let the size of their roster fool you. There are a lot of freshmen on that roster, and we have a lot of freshmen on Lynchburg. The record does not reflect how good this Lynchburg squad is.
Well, as a coach, I mean, individually in practice, you're trying to get your players better. You're trying to work on the team system, all those things. Talk about that a little bit, just maybe some of those behind-the-scenes things that folks don't realize, but as a coach are so important to you. I mean, you got sleepless nights sometimes just thinking about what you're going to do in practice the next day, right?
Yes. Yeah, not a lot of people know about that, but it is a very stressful job. I know this coaching staff, having worked with them, have worked their butts off to get them to this point. And the things that you stress about, you almost can't even control because they do take time. A younger squad like this, you need the team bonding. You need them to go to dinner together, to hang out, to have the inside jokes. And I think what you're seeing tonight is a little bit more cohesiveness.
Compare the men's game to the women's game at this level anyway. We're going to see a lot of the same things when you guys play, but maybe just a little faster tempo. The jumps are a little higher, those things.
Yeah, played a little bit more above the net. The net is a foot taller, but, I mean, some of these guys can jump out of the gym. The main difference is you don't see a lot of long rallies. It's something that if you blink, you might miss 2 or 3 points, which is great as a fan and stressful as a coach.
Well, we're gonna get you on an entire broadcast for sure. But just what you're seeing, I mean, from this one, there's a fun one that went through the rafters, and Southern Virginia actually still had a crack at it. Just from this one, give us a little expert analysis. Lynchburg trails by 3 here. Do you see any major adjustments needed from either side, or maybe just some minor tweaks right now?
Just some minor tweaks. I think both teams could tighten up from the service line. I think the first set you're always feeling out. Are you hitting them long? Are you missing them short? But other than that, both teams are blocking very well. I expect both coaches to make some adjustments on what sets they're running, what kind of shots they're telling their hitters to hit.
Is that, I kind of made it seem like we were going to let you go, but you're here and we're talking. How much of that is in scouting, where you're looking at a team beforehand and seeing their block coverages, and obviously you're going to know a little bit just from watching them jump and move around, but how easy is it to change and say, hey, let's go down the line more, let's try to tool the block more, let's go with some change-ups? Yeah. I mean, give us a little insight in that. Is that an in-game adjustment?
Those minor adjustments are 100% you can change on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
The system that you plan to run before every game, those are things that might take in between sets to kind of say, hey guys, what's plan B, what's plan C here? But I mean, most times first 2 sets, you're really still feeling the other team out. when you've scouted a team since the weekend, it's very hard to maybe go 1-1 into the third and say, let's abandon the game plan.
Right. So is scouting going to be a big part of what you do? Do you enjoy watching a team on video and breaking them down? Because you can do that nowadays.
Having film available to you 24/7 is amazing. Something I didn't have when I was playing. I would have used it during class time, which is probably for the better. But it's great for the fact that the players can watch it, the coaches can watch it, and it's just you can visualize maybe errors that you want to fix or things you did well. What did I do here that maybe I'm not doing other times?
Great stuff, Ryan. We're gonna get Ryan for an entire game, but we want to let you go and chat with some of these folks. After all, it's the first home game on campus, so you're seeing a lot of people that you haven't seen in 6 months or a year. So we'll let you go hang out. But the next time Ryan is in town, he's promised me we're going to work an entire game together, and you can teach me more about volleyball. I've been watching volleyball nonstop for the last 2 weeks, but it's always nice to have somebody talk you through it.
Yeah, it's a sport that is so easy on the eye, and there are certain things that just look exciting, and you'd love to figure out the details that go into it, and I'm happy to do that.
Yes, and yes, if you want to get in touch with this guy, check out the Lynchburg website. The men's volleyball page and all that stuff is already up and going, right? All your contact info there.
Yep, my email is listed there, as well as a recruiting questionnaire. If there are any potential student athletes out there, do not hesitate to reach out. And I look forward to working the game with you. It's so great to have fans back in Turner.
Oh, yeah. It's a great vibe in here. People are having fun. This might seem like humor, but you're probably looking for assistant coaches too, right?
Yeah.
You've probably got some people you're targeting, though, right? A wish list?
100%. Unfortunately, I am recruiting, which is a one-man show right now.
Yeah.
But once you get 16, 17 freshmen on the campus, you need all the hands you can get.
And it is somewhat confusing just because the years kind of fly by, but it's not going to be January of 2024. The season is not starting in 4 months. The season will be starting in 16 months, basically,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
January 2025, we're going to have men's volleyball in Turner. How cool is that?
It's crazy. It's something I thought as soon as I stepped on campus 4 years ago, and it will be very rewarding to see it come to fruition.
I'm excited. We're gonna let Ryan take off the headset and go enjoy himself and watch some volleyball, and we really appreciate you stopping by. And like I said, you're booked for an entire game. Hopefully we'll get a 5-setter. We can really just go nuts with it, and I know we're going to have a great time. The next home game, by the way, fans, is Avert 1 week from today. And the Avert Cougars always with a great volleyball program. So I think that'd be a good one for you to be here for, if you can make it work in your schedule.
In conference matchups, I wouldn't be anywhere else in the world.
Yes, that's crazy to think about, too, because Avert, a longtime USA South member, is in the ODAC now. I still have to wrap my head around that. They have men's volleyball, right?
Added this year.
Okay, so there you go. There's a big rival that we can expect some great games with. It's two new programs just separated by an hour or so. All right, Ryan, we'll let you go. We'll get back to this one. It's a tie ball game now. I don't know. I keep trying to let you go. Should we just keep you here until?
I don't mind.
He's staying here, folks. He's staying here. The Kyle and Ryan Show, 1.0. It'll get better from here. But another mishandled serve there. I think you mentioned that. Just the serve receive for Southern Virginia, and then also their serving just not quite good enough right now.
I think what we saw there was a serve-receive rotation error. A lot of times coaches, when they're not serve receiving so well, might try and move some people around, and there are still rules as to who can stand next to who.
Yeah, timeout on the court. So let's just keep it right here because that is an interesting one. You don't have to stay in the three up front, three in the back on the serve receive, but you still have to be set in relation to the other players, right? Can you simplify that and make it digestible for the non-fan?
I will try my best. You need to be on the correct side of the person next to you and either in front or behind of the person directly in front or behind you.
In the back row,
Those
right.
are the two lines, imaginary lines you cannot cross.
But from there, we can move around how we want. Like oftentimes you'll see two players basically standing right beside each other, those sorts of things.
Perfectly legal.
Okay. What else? What are some other interesting ones that fans may not know about volleyball? Just Because, again, you hear some terms, you hear some things.
Well, we saw an interesting one in the first set, actually. Southern Virginia, Lynchburg pulled the ball out of the net. The ref called it out, even though we saw Princess dive over the scorer's table to play it. If the ball is on the outside of the antenna but stays up and hits the net, it's still a dead ball. That antenna, kind of like the goal line in football, extends forever.
That's fascinating in itself right there as well. Keep going. What are some other ones that you hear about with the rotation? It is interesting because we've got the libero, and that's, if fans don't know, that'll be the player right there. In this case, Cassie Blackmore for Lynchburg, wearing a different color jersey. That can be confusing for people, right?
100%. It's a rule that was added to the sport of volleyball to kind of help defenses who were struggling to deal with the fact that players are getting stronger, taller, jumping higher, running faster, and adds a certified defender into your back row.
Yeah, it's interesting because I love it because it does give maybe a shorter athlete a chance to be competitive and really contribute to a team like you're seeing Cassie Blackmore do right here. The liberos, they can serve. Obviously, we're seeing that. And there's the little nuance to where they can attack, but it has to be from below the net, basically. It would just kind of be a back row free ball. Well, I guess they can roll shot it, right? They can swing on it. It just has to be from below the net.
As long as it's below the top of the tape and they are behind that 10-foot line.
But it's not what you want, I guess, as a coach.
You never draw that one out.
Right. But talk about things you don't draw up, those scramble plays. And really, I think those are the ones that make volleyball a lot of fun, where you do see people diving around and you do have somebody hit it over and you keep a rally going. Do you practice those chaos kind of plays, or you just, when you're scrimmaging, they just come up anyway, so that's how you practice it?
You try and simulate it as best as you can. You would be amazed how hard it is to make these situations up in a controlled environment like we see there.
Yeah.
There are certain things, a player diving like that, you just can't account for.
Yeah, this is a great rally. Lynchburg got an awesome tandem block there, and Southern Virginia somehow kept it going. There's another one in the rafters. Now, this is what makes this sport a lot of fun. You get these rallies that are seemingly endless, and finally, Lynchburg will terminate it. That's great stuff. Again, how do you coach your team to hold their nerve in a long rally like that? That seems like it's going on forever.
You tell them be patient, and you wait. Eventually, you'll get a free ball, and it's just like serve receive 2.0 is what I like to tell my guys.
I love that. I love that. Lynchburg really with a nice run. Last time we kind of looked at the score, Southern Virginia had a 4-point lead. Now Lynchburg's up 5 again. That'll get trimmed just a little bit. In that serving, I know at the higher levels, the higher up you go, those serves get tougher and tougher. You got these guys and gals, they can hit the knuckle balls, they can put the overspin, they can place it where they want. Talk about that to the uninitiated fan. It's not just trying to lob it over there for most of these gals, right?
You're exactly right. It's so much more who you're trying to serve, where they are in the court. But you see these teams who have great servers, they're also great passers. They see these serves in the gym all day, and teams who don't have great servers, you can see them be caught off guard by some of these great float serves.
You talked about who you want to serve it to. You're trying to target a player on that back row typically, and that's one that you'll probably have scouted out. Great dig right there to keep it alive for Lynchburg. But yeah, that's one where the scouting can come in, right? Where hey, get it to number 4 or whoever, whenever.
100%.
Okay.
Whether it's between two people, and listen, these are student athletes, these are human beings. Sometimes they play lights out, and you saw them on film, and you're like, this is the best game they've ever played.
Right.
So you just have to tip your cap sometimes.
Well, that's back to what you were saying. Sometimes you get in set 3, and you have to throw the plan right out the window and be able to adjust. It's back to a 5-point lead for Lynchburg. There's a nice little crafty tip over by Brenna Clyde. Talk about that play right there where it's not a big swing. It's just a tip over the block. Some of it may have been because of the set, but sometimes that's planned as well, right?
It's so difficult to read as a defender because you know what she's capable of, and you don't want to be on the receiving end of some high heat, and the changeup can catch you flat-footed as we see another huge block by SVU.
As a hitter, how much of that is predetermined by you, or again, does it depend on the set? Sometimes you just get a set that's going to be perfect for that, right?
Sometimes it's just the stars align, and some of the really, really good players are able to see where the block is, where the defender is, before they even hit the ball. Looking out the corner of their eyes, kind of like a quarterback does at the line of scrimmage, they can see all that.
Lynchburg's lead cut to 2. Looks like head coach Hannah Givens is going to take a timeout. I want to ask you some questions about Coach Givens here in just a second, but back to that, the setter has some responsibility for reading the defense as well, right?
100%. Maybe not so much the back three, but that front three, they need to be aware of where everyone is at every time. And it's difficult when you're trying to keep track of what they're running, and also you're running something at the same time. This isn't just a one play, okay, forget it, let's move on to the next one. There are multiple sets run in every single rally.
We'll talk about Coach Hannah Givens. She's in her 4th season. I mean, you guys were working hand in hand for many years there. What makes her such a great coach? I mean, she's incredible to be around. She's got that personality. But talk about her as a coach. What are some things that she's big on with the team?
She's huge on accountability. I mean, you can see it in some of the older girls. I'll shout out senior Princess. When she came in as a freshman, she was soft-spoken, she was quiet, and she's turned into a leader. There are certain pillars of the program that some girls just, they're really able to put their roots down and grow into leaders.
It's a 2-point lead for Lynchburg at the moment. The timeout there, you think just kind of stabilize, calm things down a little bit? No major tactical changes there?
100%. It's no different than that. It's icing the server.
Yeah, and it worked there as that one goes into the mesh for a point, a Lynchburg point. Looks like Abby Barlow's going to check back in. She'll head to the service line. That element as a player, I guess you get used to it coming off the bench to serve, but to me that would feel like a little bit of pressure there, especially if you haven't been in a while, to come in cold and be expected to not only get one in play, but as we said, hopefully pick out a specific defender.
It is tough. It's a very difficult role because, I mean, we're now an hour into the game. There's a chance her shoulder hasn't moved in over an hour. And you only get one shot back there, so it's stressful.
Well, you mentioned his shoulders. What about just the physical nature of this game? You know, with Lynchburg, they played 3 matches in 24 hours to open the weekend. I mean, you're thinking about the workload and the jump count is another term you hear about a lot. You got to think about some of those things, especially early in the season, right?
Well, and 2 of those 3 games went 5 sets.
Mm-hmm.
What I like to think about is not how many swings they're getting. Like you mentioned, the jumps. For every swing you get, you're jumping another 2-3 times, blocking, playing defense, serving. So total attempts is kind of a fool's gold number on how many swings they got.
Lynchburg by 3. Bump set right side in play. Here comes another one from Southern Virginia, excuse me. KK will rip one. Did that find the corner? Yes, it did. Kaylee Keogh has been on fire all night, and a big point there to put Lynchburg up by 4. The finish line is in their sights. Another timeout from Southern Virginia. All right, we're not sending Ryan away, but we need a break here. Lynchburg by 4. We'll step aside to catch our breath, and then we're back with more second set action here from Turner Gymnasium on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.
To them, the whole world looks like an opportunity, one to be seized, built upon, and made better for their sport and the people around it. To student athletes, every opportunity is a chance to change what could be and show the world what opportunity can do.
Lynchburg feeling good after another Southern Virginia timeout. Hornets on top, 17, Kyle Haney with Ryan Turner, my broadcast colleague, who's also the brand new men's volleyball coach here at the University of Lynchburg. There's a serve that hits the net from Princess Salafu. And then the libero comes in. So there's the change right there, Ryan. I guess Coach Givens is okay with Princess serving, but you don't necessarily want her on the back row playing defense. Is that what happens there?
So you get to pick one of your two middles can serve. The libero can only serve for one of them. So you pick your best server, best passer. It's coach's choice there.
And then more substitutes coming in. The libero is a free sub. This is
Correct.
another one that confuses people. That doesn't count against you, but subs for other players or sending in a non-libero does. Talk about those requirements and restrictions, and is it the same in the men's game?
So I'll start. You're given, I think, 16 subs, if I'm not mistaken, in the women's game. On the men's game, there are a little fewer subs given per set.
Okay.
The issue you run into is some of these games that might be 24-24, you might run out of subs, and you might have to leave the personnel group out there you probably don't want in that situation.
Yeah, and I guess that's why a player like a KK, number 17, Kaylee Keogh, is so important, because she can really do everything. She can receive serves, she can dig, she can swing on balls, she can probably set occasionally if you need her to, right?
Yeah, she is a five-tool player, 100%. And if you watch her in the sand on the beach team, she is just as great.
Yeah. Now we need to talk about some of the differences there. Lynchburg's only 3 away from a victory. Southern Virginia down 2. So we probably would be better served to give our full attention to this one. And there's a big shot. I think it was Bree Spainauer coming through the middle there and pounding it down. Is another great look. Excellent replays from our LHSN team, working hard, and that's huge. 23-20, it gets Lynchburg to serve back. And the gal we were just talking about at the line, so there's one of the tools, a serve right there in the seam of the defense. I mean, that's impressive. Lynchburg 24-20. She gonna go back to the same spot?
I wouldn't be surprised.
This one's a little bit longer. Southern Virginia handles it. They'll swing on one. What a shot, but handled. Overpass. Great job by Leak just to keep it going. Or excuse me, that was Cassie Blackmore. Self-defense play on that one from the Knights. Blackmore again to Green. Going to try to end it here. Out of play, and it will be a point. Bree Spainauer will end the set. Lynchburg looking ahead to the broom closet and sweep Southern Virginia. Hornets by 2, 25-20 in set number 2. Ryan, we'll let you go there for real this time. But next home game you're in town, you are on the mic. We're going to have a blast, and I can't wait. And I can't wait for men's volleyball.
Can't wait either.
I just hope you call me to do the games.
I wouldn't have anyone else in the world
but
do
I
it.
got to impress you a little bit more here. So let me work on it. We'll let Ryan go. We'll step aside for another minute or two break here in between set 2 and 3. Let's see if Lynchburg can close it down. They're on top 2-0 against Southern Virginia on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.
Diving in college taught me to strive and be the best athlete I can be, but also the best student I can be. My coaches always made sure that the student comes first, because not everyone's going to become a professional athlete. So they make sure that we will do great in academics. I knew that would only open the door to my future, and I'm really excited to start my dream program for physical therapy.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess.
An incredible finish by Hall. The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
When you come to the University of Lynchburg to earn a master's degree in athletic training, you'll spend time in the classroom, but you'll also spend a lot of time in our top-notch facilities learning from athletic trainers and working closely with our student athletes. In the Graduate Cadaver Lab, you'll learn about the human body in the best way possible by actually studying the human body. This will provide a foundation to make you a much better athletic trainer. In the athletic training laboratory, you'll get hands-on experience, practicing your skills, applying concepts from the classroom, and working with faculty on research projects. It's also where our hydrotherapy facilities are. This space is also used by students for studying and practicing skills outside of class time. In the Sports Medicine Clinic in Turner Gymnasium, you'll work with student athletes from more than 20 NCAA Division III sports teams, helping get them back to practice and into the game as soon as possible. As an athletic training student, you're a big part of the success of our sports teams and the success of the local athletic teams. We see this relationship as a win-win situation. You learn, and that helps us.
Wayne Prophet Court inside Turner Gymnasium on the campus of the University of Lynchburg. Our first home game of the year for Lynchburg Athletics. You're getting a shot at the Lynchburg coaching staff. That is Hannah Givens on the right, and the new assistant, Olivia Kilalela. She is having so much fun on campus. Got to do an interview with her as well, and those are, again, available on the Lynchburg YouTube page, and all the social media spots are worth checking out. Early point for the Hornets. They lead 2-0, looking for the sweep. It will be win number 1 of the season. Oh, what a stuff right there. How about those two working in tandem? That's number 12, Bree Spainauer, and number 14, the freshman, Miranda Cummings. Another look right here. Cummings slides over from the middle blocker spot. She's pumped. You can see that look. Love the emotion right there. Great camera work, as usual, from our LHSN team. Lynchburg's out to a 3-0 advantage. You just sense that the Knights from SVU have never really had the energy. Lynchburg has controlled that battle. And, you know, that's one that you hear about a lot, energy, that kind of thing. There's a sort of a campfire ball. Two players just watching, although there was some contact there on the back line for Southern Virginia. But you hear about energy. Coaches talk about energy. Fans talk about energy. Lynchburg's had it from the jump. I mean, they've had it the entire time tonight. Some of that is probably the first home game, of course. Southern Virginia, they won't be at home until mid-September. Mentioned they had 4 on the road at Virginia Wesleyan last weekend. They're playing Lynchburg tonight, and then they'll go to Washington and Lee for a tournament this weekend. Now, that's a short trip. Washington and Lee in Lexington, Southern Virginia in Buena Vista. But you're not playing in your home gym. Sometimes another phrase and maybe cliche you hear coaches talk about is bring your own energy, make your own energy. Southern Virginia is going to have to do that here. They're slow out of the gate in set 3. Lynchburg 6-0. Keep it right here for the moment. Some stats after set number 2. Kaylee Keough, 11 points for Lynchburg. It's 9 kills. She's got 2 aces, 6 receptions. So Coach Ryan Turner, the new men's volleyball coach here at Lynchburg, described KK as a 5-tool player. Very much showing off all 5 tools in this one for Lynchburg. Looks like Bree Spainauer, 6 kills. Tori Williamson, freshman, coming in third with 5 kills. Good balanced attack there for Lynchburg. Maya Green has a kill. Princess Salafu has a kill. Blocking game has been good. Salafu with 3, Spainauer 2, Ava Minor 1. Salafu added 1 to that, or excuse me, Bree Spainauer added 1 to that early in this set. 6-0 lead. Kaylee Keough at the service line here. Short jump serve to the back row middle. Southern Virginia is going to try to get in system. Oh, nice play right there by Maya Green. Setter had to keep that one off the ground. Keough sends it over with a soft roll shot. Change up ball on the way. Green laid out for it with the outstretched right arm, but can't get there. And that'll be the first point of the game of the set, rather, for Southern Virginia. They side out. That's a good term. We should have asked Ryan Turner about the side out. That's one that goes back to the old school volleyball days when you could only score when you were serving. Our new fans may not realize that, although I'm sure they've had a coach or somebody tell them that things changed. I guess that was early 2000s. They changed it to the rally scoring, where you can score when you're not serving. But I guess the term side out still applies. You score a point when you're not serving and you get served back. You'll even hear coaches still say, hey, we need to side out right here. They're probably the coaches that are holdovers from the older generation. This is Cassie Blackmore serving for Lynchburg. Hornets lead by 7. Blackmore's got 1 ace. And I think that's her 11th total serve, so she's been at the line quite a bit. Nice one there, well placed by Southern Virginia. Lynchburg with a valiant effort, but they can't keep it off the deck. And that's the second point of the set for SVU. Let's talk about Lynchburg's schedule a little bit more. This Saturday, September 9th, they are on the road at Eastern Mennonite University. They'll be playing Dickinson from the state of Ohio. Spainauer, what a shot there, and a nice, it was an overpass, just a dig, trying to keep it off the floor, but it ends up leading to a point right there for number 9, Taryn Anderson from SVU. They needed that. They need a few breaks here or there, and that one falls into the good break category. Just a perfect spot on a dig. Nice swing by Bree Spainauer. Boy, she's bringing the fastball. Point over there on the far side for Lynchburg. Tori Williamson will add to her kill total. She's up to 6. Jayna Leak back in. She'll go to serve. Blackmore, stays out. Cassie Blackmore, Leak, and Kaylee Keogh on that back line right now. Blackmore with an overpass, and Southern Virginia makes Lynchburg pay there. 9-4, little mini rally building here for SVU. They'll send subs in. It's number 3, Brenna Clyde, the junior from Idaho Falls, Idaho, back on board. And then also to the service line off the bench goes Eliza Bailey. The geography on this SVU roster is very impressive. They've got players from 12 different states and 1 from Ontario, Canada. There are 3 players from Arizona, 4 from Utah, 2 from Florida, 2 from North Carolina, just 1 on the roster from Virginia, I think, for SVU. Point for Lynchburg there under slightly strange circumstances. Looks like Abby Barlow is going to check back in. 5'1" sophomore from Moneta, Virginia. Hannah Givens trying to get the rotation right for her team. Barlow takes the place of Tori Williamson, and she'll go to the back line and serve. 10-4, Lynchburg leading. You are getting a shot at assistant coach John Baker for Southern Virginia. He and his wife, Debbie Baker, they work hand in hand for this SVU team. There's a misplayed ball at the net. That will be point number 11 for Lynchburg. You got to be feeling good right now if you're a Hornet fan. It's full wind in the sails right here. And momentum is big in all sports. I would argue it's really big in the game of volleyball. Don't necessarily have anything scientific to quantify that, fans. There's another one just wide left on the kill attempt. Point for Lynchburg, 12-4. I would argue momentum is as big in volleyball as it is in any other sport. And you're welcome to debate that and disagree. That's one of the great things about sports, is everybody gets an opinion. Knights will play that one off the net. Nice set. Salafu tried to stuff it straight down. Received well. Rally continues. Saw some great long rallies in sets 1 and 2. This has been the longest of set 3 here. They'll bump it over to KK. Long swing, and that's out of bounds. SVU gets the point. But yeah, just some real great back and forth stuff in sets 1 and 2. If you're joining us late, Lynchburg actually trailed to open up set number 1, but really took firm control Lynchburg ends up winning. There was just a one lead change in set one. It's back and forth, 3 ties. We actually had 4 ties in set 2. Salafu got a hold of that one. Top down, first you don't succeed, try again, and she does. That one was a softer touch, but just into the void there for a point. Princess Salafu. She'll go back to serve. The other middle blocker for Lynchburg, Miranda Cummings, will check in. 5'7" freshman from Aiken, South Carolina. Talked about the geography a bit for Southern Virginia. Lynchburg's is pretty good too. They have 9 players from the state of Virginia though. And Princess Salafu is one of 2 from Tennessee. 4 from North Carolina. And a player each from South Carolina and Missouri. Salafu with the dig. She can do it all. Kaylee Keough, good swing from the far left pin. There's another out ball. Lynchburg lets it go. Court awareness. Knowing where the lines are. Lynchburg's been great about that today. They've played a handful of out balls. Of course, that'll happen in any volleyball game, but for the most part, Lynchburg's been really good about that decision making. Another timeout on the court. Let's take a breather here as Southern Virginia talks it over again. They trail by 9, 14-5. Hornets on top in set 3, looking for the sweep. The Lynchburg Hornets won set number 1, 25-16. Picked up set number 2, 25-20. And now they've blown it out to a 9-point advantage in set 3. All the momentum right now with the Hornets. And we knew they were capable of this, but just the fact that Southern Virginia, top-tier competition, they're back-to-back USA South champs, back-to-back NCAA tournament appearances. Southern Virginia, get this number, fans, in the last 2 seasons, 55-13. Now, Lynchburg did beat SVU last year. That was on the road in Buena Vista. And the lead right now for the Hornets, up to 10. Another kill attempt, just too far. How about Miranda Cummings on the overpass? Slammed it straight down. How did the Knights get to it? Give her another look. Instead, they'll go to KK. KK fell down, tripped over her own player. That was Barlow and Keough, who the feet just got tangled up there as they were trying to converge to get that ball airborne again. Oh, Miranda Cummings. Straight down with a hammer there. Still a little unsure of how the Knights from Southern Virginia kept it off the hardwood, but good defense there. And there's one of those campfire balls. Cummings was waiting for the setter to come over, in this case, Jana Leak. And she just couldn't get there in time. It was one of those balls that Cummings, in hindsight, probably wishes she would have went ahead and played, but you want to give your setter the chance. Now it's a 15-7 lead. Keough, serve, receive. Another strong strike from Cummings. She's showing off the skill set from the middle blocker spot. Here's Leak, right side. That one slapped down. Ava Minard got a good swing on it, but a nice block on the front row for Southern Virginia. Looked like number 24, Abby Gregory, was the one that did the damage, deflecting that one straight down. Big shout from Jelaine Peterson, though. The senior was also there. Perhaps she'll get credit for it. Leak sets up Keough. Has to go to the roll shot and kind of flip that one over. Nice play by Blackmore. Good rally developing here. Kaylee Keough, that one tipped, handled by Southern Virginia. They'll get a swing, not quite at the net, and there's another ball right in the seam between two players. And you saw Cassie Blackmore do the gesture, kind of patted the chest there and said, my bad, I should have had that one, that was on me. Coach Hannah Givens will take a timeout and talk to her team just a bit as they circle around. Coach Givens in her 4th season had the great honor in the offseason of being named the American Volleyball Coaches Association 30 under 30 list for beach volleyball. Coach Givens is the head coach for both. The director of volleyball. I don't even know if I'm getting the term exactly right. I'm gonna go to the Lynchburg Sports website and just make sure. But Coach Givens is one of those young coaches that has impressed not only all of us here at Lynchburg, but obviously coaches all around the country as we get another look at some fans enjoying themselves there. Oh yeah, you can see some of the LHSN crew in that shot. There's our wonderful athletic director, John Waters, on the right, and waving there was our president, Allison Morrison Shetler, who I got to talk to back during baseball season. Oh yeah, let's get it going here in Club Turner. Yeah, why not? We can have Club Turner during the daylight hours on a Tuesday, showing off the dance moves down there on front. You gotta love it. Gotta love the atmosphere inside, the environment. Students are back on campus. We've got sports back. This is a blast. 15-9, Lynchburg still leads. They're up by as much as 10 in this 3rd set. So a little fight back here from the Knights. This is what they needed. We said Lynchburg had all the momentum. Not exactly sure now, as the Hornets are hemorrhaging some points, losing the lead. It's cut down to 5. Still feels comfortable. We reserve the right to change that if Southern Virginia keeps scoring. Another big knock from Kaylee Keough. How about that? Number 17 letting it rip again from the far left pin. That's impressive. I think when you get a player in rhythm like KK is right now, you got to keep feeding her as much as you can. Get her the ball as much as you can. You don't want to become so predictable to a defense. Oh, nice serve there from Maya Green. Dropped that one in front. That felt like one of those kind of top spin balls that we were talking to Coach Ryan Turner about. You toss it up. You don't necessarily try to hit the middle of the ball. Maybe you go just north of middle a little bit. Not all the way up to 12 o'clock on the ball if it was a clock face. But get up there higher. Oh, my goodness. Keough ripping that one off the shoulder. She's inflicting punishment now. Number 17, Kaylee Keough. Yeah, get it to her again. That's all I can say. Maybe you don't worry about becoming predictable when you got a player swinging it like she is. Oh, she'll block too. Yeah, tag team up front. Kaylee Keough and Miranda Cummings. Impressive stuff there. I think Cummings gets credit for it, but Keough was in the window there. 19-10. Lynchburg by 9 again. Said they lost some momentum. Southern Virginia was getting it back. Well, Lynchburg responded. Misplay over there on the far right sideline by Brenna Clyde. Not what SVU needed, and they're down 10 again. Let's see, live stats, live scoring has Kaylee Keough with 11 kills. 11 for KK. 16's the career high, so if this game ends in 3 sets, she's going to have a hard time getting there. That's the other interesting one when you talk about volleyball stats. The per set numbers are always better than just a raw total because, well, sometimes you're going to play 3 sets, sometimes 4, sometimes 5. So, again, if this game ends in 3 sets, well, you do have to win by 2. So, theoretically, KK could still get to that career total. You never know. Into the ball game for Lynchburg for the first time, Kyrie Thibodeau. Kyrie Thibodeau, sophomore from Lorton, Virginia, will get on the board. She'll serve again. Lynchburg's only 3 away from a clean sweep here to open up the home athletic season in 2023-2024. Wow. Kyrie Thibodeau. She'll rip another one. That's down. That's on the line. Nope, it's out. Referee disagreeing with this broadcaster, and that is out of play. 22-11. Hornets by 11. Lynchburg on the road Saturday. They're back at home Tuesday, September 12th against Avert. That is a conference matchup. ODAC play begins 1 week from today. Lynchburg plays like this. They've got a shot to beat anybody in conference. Yeah, I said it. Good shot by Keogh, handled the back line. Lynchburg thought it was 4 hits. They'll play on. Thibodeau dumped one over. Ricochet and in for Southern Virginia. So Lynchburg opens up conference schedule tomorrow at home. Make your plans to be inside Turner Gymnasium with us, or as always with the home broadcast. You can watch it on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. That goes with all of our athletics. Oh, nice one from Miranda Cummings. She's on the board. Lynchburg 2 away, 23-12. Another look, slide attack, send the middle over to the near right side, ricochet and down. Great stuff from the women in white. Lynchburg 7-2 at home last year. They love playing in front of this home crowd. They get into it, they get up. They bring the energy on the road as well, but nothing like playing in Turner. Knights are going to keep one alive after a block. Lynchburg thought they could get in system, but Blackmore will send it over to Bree Spainhour. That one's just a tad long, out of play. Hornets by 10. 23-13. As a selfish fan, I kind of wanted 5 sets. I wanted more volleyball to watch, but I think Lynchburg fans would really love to close this one out right here. And with a 10-point lead, you're obviously thinking that should be more than achievable for Lynchburg. 23-13. Blackmore handles, set by Thibodeau. A little bit of a mishit. Play on, oh, nice dive there. Lynchburg will get this one over. This is one of those good rallies developing. That one spun off on the wrong side of the net for Lynchburg. Cummings was there with Bree Spainhour, it looked like. Those two sharing the front court with number 11, Kyrie Thibodeau, the setter right now for Lynchburg. Some new faces in for Coach Hannah Given's squad. She told me before the game that she thought the rotation would be very similar to the opening weekend, but there could be changes coming. Princess Salafu back in the game. Lynchburg is 1 away, 24-14. Maybe the senior Princess Salafu can finish off the sweep. Maybe Lynchburg can get one to the middle blocker. Oh, rise and fire right there from the near left side by Sydney Bassett. That was a good one. That was much needed for Southern Virginia. They're still showing some fight. This is the energy we really wanted to see from the Knights early. They have it now. Is it just too little, too late? 24-15. One more point would win it for Lynchburg. Overpass. Salafu kind of punched at that one. There was contact with the net. Another point for Southern Virginia. Don't expect Coach Hannah Givens to take a timeout here in this situation. Even if the Knights run off consecutive points, she's really that coach that prefers her team to just kind of self-organize, figure it out yourselves, and we'll save the timeouts for must-have situations. Misplay on the back row there by Morgan Clark. Sophomore from Virginia Beach couldn't handle a hot serve. So it is consecutive points. And a little mini rally here for Southern Virginia. Lynchburg still 1 point away from a clean sweep. 3-set victory at home. Clark better on that one. Going to the right side. Spainhour had to tip. Tip coming. Spainhour straight down with Princess Salafu. Lynchburg. Oh, wow. Point went against him. Point went against Lynchburg. Net violation there. Look is a little obscured by the stanchion and the referee, so I couldn't quite tell. The fans voicing some displeasure. 24-18. Lynchburg still 1 point away. There's Princess Salafu punching over for the win. Love getting it to the senior to finish off the first victory of the season. Princess Salafu, a little short set, just punched it over. The crowd saying bye-bye. What a win for Lynchburg. 0-3 coming into the contest. They sweep Southern Virginia. They take set number 1, 25-16. Lynchburg won set 2, 25-20, and it's a 25-18 win in set number 3 for Lynchburg. Well, I think our LHSN season is off to a great start. We had a lot of wonderful people making it happen. Let me run down the crew here. Just give me 1 second. The list is as follows. My great friend and Orioles fan, Evan Gavin. Our director, Christian, JP, and John were on the cameras. We had Big Matty J on the replay, making it look good. Josh Smith, Sam Rice helping out, of course. Tim LeDuc, our fearless leader. Thank you for all the hard work that you all put in. And congratulations to Coach Hannah Givens and the Lynchburg women's volleyball team. They get victory number 1. They sweep Southern Virginia. We are back on the air for volleyball in 1 week when Lynchburg is hosting Avert. I believe that's a 7 p.m. start time there. Volleyball team is on the road Saturday, September 9th, taking on Dickinson at EMU. We've got some home games between men's and women's soccer and field hockey as well this weekend on campus. If you can't make it to those, you can always watch them right here on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Kyle Haney saying so long, volleyball fans. Hope you enjoyed it. Lynchburg gets the victory over Southern Virginia in 3 sets, and we'll see you again very soon.